Miles, let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They find themselves in the news as we are now well beyond the draft. Rookie minicamp has come and gone, and we've got an interesting report involving one Steelers rookie in particular who is set up to be in a massive position for the Steelers team going to 2023. In fact, it looks like the Steelers organization is already moving this young guy into a position to have an absolutely critical role.
Yeah, Nick, it looks like the Steelers have hit this draft out of the park. They've already got some key impact players, some key day ones contributors to the Steelers on both sides of the ball. I think it's going to be very, very productive offseason for them. But we're talking about big moves, productive off seasons. I want to know in the comments below, what was the biggest move the Steelers made this past offseason, whether it was a free agent signing, a trade, draft pick, any kind of thing like that. Let us know in the comments below what you think the biggest move the Steelers made this offseason was, and make sure to stay tuned to end of today's video to hear a word from our partner, Neuro. They have a product that gives you a quick and easy boost of energy. We love to use their mints or gum right before the show. Keep us sharp, keep us on the straight and narrow. But stay tuned to the end of today's video to hear more about Neuro and their products and to get your hands on our discount code. Nonetheless, Nick, what is the latest news on this impressive Steelers rookie?
Yeah, so of course, one of the things with the Pittsburgh Steelers, we know they're set at quarterback with Pickett, really good at running back, tight end, wide receiver. The question is still out on Matt Canada, but we're hoping that'll turn out better this year as opposed to last season. But the big question mark for this offense was really focused on the offensive line, and that's why the Steelers in the first round went out and got Broderick Jones. And we already talked about the pick, but it looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers are already sliding Jones into the most important part of that offensive line. If you want to throw out the report, Miles, from USA Today, that kind of is the first half of it, and then we'll walk into the second half of it. The first part of the story involves last year's left tackle, the most important part of the offensive line. I'll read from the report. The future of Pittsburgh Steelers offensive tackle Dan Moore Jr. became shaky the second Pittsburgh drafted Broderick Jones. General Manager Omar Khan talked about Moore this week and used the words that sealed his fate. Khan said, quote, "I'm confident he can play multiple positions. If the team thinks Khan said, if the team thinks Moore can play multiple spots, they aren't going to count on him to play any of them as a starter. Versatility is a sentiment Khan echoed about many of the team's linemen. Quote, this is one thing about our group. If you look at it, there's a lot of versatility there. There's players that can play guard, players that can play guard and tackle, players that play center guard, guys that can play on the left side or the right side. We have a lot of respect for Dan. Dan's been an awesome Steeler for the last couple of years. It's all going to shake out here before the first game of the season." That's what Khan said. Now feed this into the second half of the report, Miles, which is out of Steelers.com. They noted that rookie Broderick Jones, day one of rookie minicamp, had all of his coaching, all of his footwork, all of his drills at the left tackle position specifically. Miles, you compare that, juxtapose that with these comments involving Dan Moore Jr. It looks like Dan Moore Jr., his career as the Pittsburgh Steelers starting left tackle is very quickly coming to an end. The Steelers are already putting this young guy, Jones, in a position to be their left tackle. He has all the physical tools to do it. It looks like they believe in this kid already. It looks like he's ready to slide into that role. If you can kind of read between the lines of Khan's comments, he's very clearly moving off of Moore as a long-term starter for this football team, and they appear to be all in on Jones as their starter going forward at that position. Miles, give me your thoughts on Broderick Jones, Chris Moore, and everything with the Steelers offensive line right now.
Yeah, Nick. I mean, it makes perfect sense when you draft a guy, 14th overall, a guy that was, a good prototypical size. He's 6'5", 320, probably put on a little bit more weight through some strength and conditioning program. But this guy was also quick. He ran an under 5-second 40-yard dash. He just looked all around good. He was very good in college as well. And Dan Moore, I don't think he was necessarily a world beater at the left tackle positions, but specifically when they hit a nail on the head in the article saying if they don't trust him to be at the left tackle spot, and they talk about that he can play multiple positions, that means they do not trust him to play any of the positions. Be a great depth piece. I'm glad that he's able to play multiple positions on the line. That is very important for a backup. I think that's a really great quality to have in a backup, but that seems kind of like what he is being destined to be as a backup for this team. They now have found a guy that potentially could be their new starter, and he's already looking very good early on in minicamp. Look as good as advertised. That's the phrase everybody's using nowadays. He looks as good as advertised. So I think this is something to be excited about if you're a Steelers fan, because you want to give Kenny Pickett as much protection, as much safety, and as much time in the pocket as possible. I think that is when he is going to thrive in an offense like that. In an offense, this might help Canada's offense out as well, let some of these routes develop a little bit better. He had some slow developing routes in the offense. I think that's a lot of the problem. Guys weren't getting open. But I think that this could be huge for the Steelers, Nick, because they've been really, really trying to refill this left tackle position. I think kind of since Alejandro Villanueva has left, they really haven't had a guy there that has been quite as good as he was, and I think this could finally be the answer if it pans out.
Yeah, Miles, and you look at that left tackle position, and look, nothing against Moore. He came in as a 4th-round pick. I'm sure there wasn't high expectations, but if you look at his PFF grade, not very good at all. 2021, 57.8. Ouch, that's not good, especially left tackle. Last season, a little bit better, 62.4, but still, that's not good at all. And you look at the left tackle position, is probably unique, maybe center kind of, but not quite as much, where that position, if you're a left tackle, you stay a left tackle, basically your entire career. Maybe eventually you'll move to right tackle or something like that. But once you're a left tackle, you don't move unless you're no longer going to ever be a left tackle. That's kind of what you're getting here from Omar Khan saying, listen, he's not our guy. Like, listen, he stepped up. We needed a guy. He went in there. He gave his best. He's not our guy. We're already identifying Jones as our future guy. We slid him in there day one. He's going to be our starter. And I think he has a chance to really have a strong impact for the Steelers going into next season. Because I talk about it all the time. I love drafting offensive linemen, especially in the later half of the first round. That's where you get usually all the big time studs, because a lot of these guys tend to fall out of the top 10. And I think this guy, Broderick Jones here, has a chance to be that kind of player for Pittsburgh right out of the gate. All right, Miles, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner in today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big time game winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro Gum. Neuro Gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Miles. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.